Matthew chapter 13 and verse number 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which is sowed good seed in his field.
Right, so we know in Matthew 13:24 on down, Yahushua gives the parable and then he explains it later on in the chapter. Right, so we'll let the scriptures flow, we'll read the parable, and we'll break it down as it's explained. Right? So let's read on.
Come on. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go up and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
That's the parable. Right, now we're going to jump down to St. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 36. Right, this is the parable. A parable is an illustrated story, right, that Yahushua would give to represent real life.
Slakia. Test it. Turn up a little bit. Test it. Come. Right, so this parable is an illustrated story to represent real life events, right? So we're going to go through this entire breakdown and understand what the wheats and the tares are talking about, right? So let's read on.
Verse 36. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field.
Right, so Yahushua was speaking parables. Why? Because he didn't want everybody to get it. Go to Mark 4 and 10. See, if Yahushua wanted everybody to understand a word, he wouldn't have spoken parables. Right? So you have dark sayings, you have parables, you have allegories, right? You have similitudes, and then you have something called plainness of speech. So Yahushua could have made things plain upon tables, but it was intentional the way he taught because he didn't even want all of Israel to get it, man. So, in Christianity, they say the Lord is coming to save everybody. Well, even amongst the Israelites, he didn't want every Israelite to understand what he was teaching. So how will he come to save everybody if only an elect amount of Israelites are going to receive and understand the word? Right, let's read that in Mark 4 and 10.
St. Mark chapter 4 and verse 10. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. And he said unto them, Unto
everybody,
it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables.
He said, if you're without, meaning what? You're on the outside, right? You're not part of this truth. You wasn't chosen to understand the word. He told the apostles, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables. Read.
That seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time,
lest at what?
Lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them.
So the Most High didn't want to forgive their sins. That's what it said. I don't want them to get the word, because if they get the word, they're going to what? They're going to repent. I don't want them to repent. I got to kill a lot of these people, huh? So everybody's not going to be designed to hear the word. That's why he said, lest at any time they hear the word and convert, and I should heal them. The Lord did not want to heal all of Israel, man. You understand? There are certain things that are reserved for set men. Even certain miracles, Peter, John, and James were the only ones that saw these miracles. Only certain men saw Yahushua ascend up, right? At the ascension, they call it, after his resurrection. Only certain people can see certain things when it pertains to Yahushua. Only certain people could deal with the holy vessels in the tabernacle. Everything is not for everybody, man. The Lord has always had rank and structure, you understand, and favor amongst his creation, even amongst the chosen people. You got a precept? You can go to the book of Matthew, chapter 3, and verse number 5.
St. Matthew, chapter 3, and verse 5. Then went out to him Jerusalem and all Judea.
And all Judea, read.
And all the region round about Jordan.
So everybody's coming to see Yahweh Shai, you understand, get baptized. Read on.
And were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to
Hey, the Lord said, who have warned you? Then I'm not talking to you. I didn't come for you. Who warned you, read?
Who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
And that's deep when you go into it, man. That's a straight cut that the Lord is not even coming for his own people, not all of his own people, man. The Lord said, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come? O generation of vipers.
That's right. That's right.
Con, to reiterate that, let's go to Isaiah chapter 6 and start at verse 9. Right? Because the Lord was just repeating what Isaiah was saying. It's got to be a falling away. Right? The Lord is not coming to heal those that are already healed. Right? So he's speaking in parables, and those who are sick will receive that medicine. So it's only a select few, like the brother was saying, who will receive it.
Isaiah chapter 6 and verse number 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not.
And that's why the Lord sent out servants, right? And prophets and evangelists and teachers, right? To get the understanding of the word, right? Because if the Lord was here speaking in parables, we would all be confounded, right? That's why Paul's letters get twisted, man. Because it's so hard to understand. Right, keep going, King.
And see indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes.
So the Lord gave Israel over to folly, vanity, madness, right? Because there'd be no reason for Yahweh Shai if everybody was perfect, so that the Lord would be magnified. There'd be no reason for that. That a point in time hasn't come.
Lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed.
Right?
Then,
go ahead and read the verse 12.
Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without a man, and the land be utterly desolate, and the Lord have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land.
That's lamming back on what the brother Orion brought out. Right? It's not for everybody. It has to be an insurrection and a falling away for the Lord to be able to receive those that are his.
Yeah. And just to make a quick point on that verse, Isaiah said, how long? Is it for 1 year? Is my family going to get it next year? Right? Are my co-workers or, my son, is he going to get it? He said, how long? He said, till this place goes down, man. That's when they're going to get it. When the missiles hit, man. And Yahweh Shai returns. Right? Let's go back to Matthew, the 13th chapter. So these parables, man's goings are up the Lord. He only had the 12 come and ask this question. Right? When we go out there on the highways and byways, we're speaking in parables to the people. Deuteronomy 28:68, they can't get it. You break it down and you chop it up into pieces. You pull up pictures. You go through the history. You pull dates. Right? If the Lord, and we go through the same thing. If this happened to the Israelites, what would that make us? Slaves? White people? What's our homeland? Egypt? You got, and you can keep going and they won't get it. It may not be now, but some people they're never going to get it, man. Right here, a quick precept.
Let's go to Matthew chapter 19 and verse 11. Like the brother was just saying, this is not for every single person. The Lord has kept, we're actually blessed to even be at this point right now of knowing about this truth. The Lord has given us the portion to know about the truth, and we continue to the end. Most High willing will get the kingdom. But bring this out in Matthew chapter 19 and verse 11.
St. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 11. But he said unto them, all men.
What the Lord say?
All men.
Right?
Cannot receive this saying.
The Lord said all men can't receive this saying. Everyone that's in this world is not going to understand this truth. Right? Read on, King.
Save they to whom it is given.
Right, so it's not given to everybody. The Lord has said it's only a certain amount of people a certain souls that's appointed in this earth to understand these scriptures. So for everyone to be out here with your notes, your Bibles, sisters with the head wrap, and being in this truth, it all praise Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? You got to get.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse number 9. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
So the teachers were sent out to set the people in order off of many proverbs, right? So it's like the brother said, you talking to the people about Deuteronomy, Leviticus, they looking at you like you speaking Chinese. Right. But the teacher has to be wise. And the only way to be wise is to be going through one shepherd. Right, keep going, King.
2, the preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth.
Right.
The words of the wise are as golds and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd.
So the words that are given, they come from Yahweh Shem Yahushai to reach the elect, to reach those who are desiring to see the Lord's face, right? And the preacher has to be elegant with his words. If they're not elegant, you're going to be looking like a fool, right? The message can be received by a wrong person sometimes if they're not using the right words, right? It can be gold coming from a fool's mouth. But if it's not an honorable, upstanding teacher, they're not going to get it. And that's how they looked at Yahweh Shai. Sirach 20 and 20, bring that out.
Sirach chapter 20 and verse number 20. And a wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak it in due season.
Right, so to be a wise teacher, you have to have everything done in appointed time and an appointed season. Right, you can't speak wisdom when a man is drinking wine. Right, it's going to go right over his head. That's why the Lord used Proverbs, because it wasn't the appointed season for all Israel to be healed. It had to be a falling away so the Lord could come and get those who aren't the tares but are the wheat.
That's right. So these parables are deep, man. Right? Like Kasadia said, man, or the scripture said, Matthew 13 and 16 on down, we don't have to get it, but blessed are your eyes for they see, and your ears for they hear, man. Right? For many, let's get that real quick, Salaki. Right? Matthew 13 and 16.
St. Matthew, chapter 13 and verse number 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
Go on.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard.
Yeah, people, I mean, they travel around the world looking for knowledge. The fountain of youth, the hidden libraries, ancient scrolls, spend all day on the internet, looking for a master's, a bachelor's, a doctorate degree. Many people, they dive deep for knowledge, man. There are people that actually are looking for the truth, man, and they can't find it, right? But the Most High has given it unto us as a gift, man, right? Freely, right? So let's go back to Matthew chapter 13.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse number 36.
Right?
Then Yahweh sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto them, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that sows the good seed is the Son of Man.
Right, because Yahweh Shah planted us in the earth. Right? The seed are the children of the kingdom. We were planted in the earth to grow up as a mustard seed or a mustard tree. You understand? Go on from a mustard seed to a tree. Read.
The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares, the children of the wicked one.
Right. When you look up a wheat and a tare, they look identical. Right? They're extremely identical, and you got to kind of be on a level to know what's a wheat and what's a tare. Right? The average Joe off the streets cannot discern between a wheat and a tare. Right? I mean, if they're literally, they look like the exact same thing. Right? So a tare is the children of the wicked one. The wicked one is Satan. Right? Go to Matthew, actually go to 1 John 3 and 11. 3 and 10. The wicked one is Satan.
1 John chapter 3 and verse number 10. First John chapter 3 and verse number 10. And this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
Right.
Not as Cain.
Not as who?
Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one.
So Cain is of the wicked one. Go on.
And slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him?
And why did he kill Abel?
Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
So he killed Abel because his works were evil and his brother was righteous. Just because his brother was righteous, he killed him, man. And because he was evil, he killed him. That's plain. It ain't no, well, maybe Abel treated him wrong. Maybe Abel and him. No, because Abel was righteous and he was wicked, man. The point of the matter is Cain is of the wicked one, right? Anybody can be of the wicked one. You can have Israelites that's of the wicked one, man. Right? You can have the Edomites are of the wicked one. Moabites are of the wicked one, man. Right? So you're either of the wicked one or you're of who? The Most High. Go to Matthew 13 and 18. Another precept on the wicked one.
St. Matthew chapter 13 and verse number 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one.
Then cometh the wicked one.
And catcheth away that which was sown in his heart.
Right. Go on.
This is he which received seed by the wayside.
So you see that? The wicked one is Satan. So in Matthew 13, he's called the wicked one. And Mark 4 and 14 telling you it's Satan. So go to Mark 4 and 14. You may say, well, no, the wicked one is Herod. The wicked one is, no, the wicked one is Satan, man. That's why precept must be upon precept. Remember, Satan got different names too. The prince of devils, Beelzebub, the prince of the world, right? Or the prince of the power of the air, right? He has many titles. The wicked one, Satan, right? Bring that out.
St. Mark chapter 4 and verse number 14. The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately.
Who's the wicked one? Satan
cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts.
So now we know the tares are those that are of Satan, right? Go to 1 John 5 and 1. Come on, let me get this real quick. Right? 1 John 5 and 1. You can have an Israelite that can be of Satan. Wasn't Annas the high priest of Satan, man? Right? Wasn't it Ahab? Right? You have many wicked men, man. There was one time Manasseh was of Satan, man, before he repented. Judas Iscariot is of Satan. He's called the son of perdition in the Psalms, man. Jason, Menelaus. What's the other one? Alchemist, the water. Alchemist, the so-called high priest, man. These are Rhodicus. All these men are of the wicked one. And they're Israelites. Bring that out, King.
St. John chapter 5 and verse number 1. Whosoever believeth that Yahweh Shai is the Hamashiach, is born of Yahweh.
No, he's up the wicked one.
Is born of Yahweh.
Right?
And everyone that loveth him that begat, loveth him also that is begotten of him.
You see that? So you have certain men, they're not of the wicked one, they're begotten of the Most High. When you're of somebody, you come from that lineage. So people are spiritually the offspring of Satan, man. The children of the devil. Yahweh Shah called them the devil in John 8 and 44. Okay, what?
He wasn't. Yeah, you got it.
Come on, let's go to John 8 and 43. A key indication to know if you come from the Lord or from the devil is the understanding of the scriptures. Right? The Lord's not going to give the understanding unto a nigga or somebody who loves the world. He's going to give those who are his the understanding of the scriptures. Because when we were in the world, nobody would have been able to read this and understand this. It's only of the Spirit of the Lord that we're able to obtain this little bit of knowledge that we do have.
St. John chapter 8 and verse number 43. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word?
You couldn't understand the speech of Yahweh because you wasn't from where he was from. That's like this brother coming from Africa and trying to talk to somebody in Romania in his language. It's not going to happen. Right? The only way to be to understand the parables, the dark sayings, right? The things of old is if you come from the Lord, right?
Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
So the fruit is going to declare the tree. You don't get lemons from apple trees, right? You get wickedness from the sons of the devil. And that's how Israel rolled. That's why the Lord didn't come to teach everybody, right? He's only coming for the 144K and the 1/3. Everybody else will get in the kingdom, man, because everybody else is not worth saving right now, man. They're too far gone in this world, right? Satan has a hold of our people, and there's no go of that grip until those nuclear missiles hit.
That's a good precept. Remember, you had a lot of Jake during the time of Yahushua that were Herodians. And they were all up and down for King Herod to be an authority. These are the same men that said we have no king but Caesar. That's why I said you are your father the devil. Basically, Yahushua said the white man is your daddy, man. Right? And not so many words, man. Right? Like that movie, Remember the Titans, man. I don't know if brothers remember that. He said, that is your daddy now, isn't it, man? Right? When Denzel went on the bus, he said, I'm your daddy now, man. And then when he kind of sold out in the locker room, the Edomite put him to the other side and said, that is your daddy now, isn't it, man? Because he kind of told him. So Yahushua told him, hey, the so-called white man's your daddy now, man. Right? You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father he will do, man. Right? You got a precept? Bring that up.
2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 9. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set up a place for exercise and for the training of youth, in the fashions of the heathens, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus, which, when the king had granted, he had gotten into his hand the rule for which brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
Right, God. So just to land me back, right? You got certain brothers, right? Or sisters, certain Israelites, and they might be under the spiritual demon Satan, man. Right? That they may make themselves, right, spiritual Antiochians, right, and take on, right, certain customs, philosophies, right, outside of the Most High God.
So let's go back to Matthew 13, right? Read 13 and verse 38 again. Right? And we encourage brothers, look up a terror, man. Look up a wheat. Don't just read past these words and ignore it, man. I don't see ICBM missile, right? I don't see fire destruction. I don't want to read it, man. You got to dive into words. If there's a word that you don't know, a place, a person, ask, look it up, right? Get into the Church of Berea spirit, man. Right? In Acts 17 and 11. So read on.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse number 38. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sold them is the devil.
Right, the enemy that sold them is the devil. Go on.
The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels.
So the enemy that sold them is the devil. Go to Ecclesiastes, 2nd Esdras first, chapter 4 and 30. Right? The enemy that sold them is the devil. So there are certain men that are of Satan from the foundation of the world. And they're going to grow up. And you may not know that they are of Satan until the last time. Who would have thought Judas was of Satan until that last time, man? He was already set up to be of Satan, man. He was already a terror, right? But it wasn't revealed until the set time. There are certain people that are literally of Satan, man. Right? Certain men may sell out, God forbid, and if they have evil, that person was a terror. At one time he had fridges on. He might have wet the cat, right? Esau might have kissed his boot, right? He might have shook the hand, but the brother was a terror the whole time, huh? Right? Or a brother might have been in this thing for a minute, then he kind of fell away and went back in the world. He was a terror, right? So it's hard to really discern. You can't say, I know that brother going to get the kingdom. There was a brother that made a video about that years ago, man. Right? He said, I know I'm part of 144,000, and that brother, he's definitely part of 144,000. And that brother, he's one of the 12. Well, you don't know that, man. You don't know who was of who and who was of who, man, until that set time. Right? So bring that up, King.
2 Ezra chapter 4 and verse number 30. For the grain of evil seed has been sown.
Hath been what?
Has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning.
So there are certain men that have been programmed, for lack of better terms, to go off, man. Right? Like I always say, the Lord downloaded sin into them. Right? And there's nothing that they can do. They were wired, designed to go off at a set time. And once the Lord activate that press that button, they're going to go off. He turned that switch up. Okay, it's time for you to go the hell off, man. Right? So there are certain men who have that seed in them. Now, man does in general, but there are certain men who's going to die with that in those sins, man. Certain men aren't going to repent, right? Certain men are going to be cast away in the wayside because they were literally created to go off until the day of judgment. Go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 29. Baba Kasha.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse number 29. Lo, this only have I found, that Yahweh hath made man upright.
But what?
But they have sought out many inventions.
But they have what?
But they have sought out many inventions.
Meaning the Most High made man upright, but Satan is going to work on certain men and make them do what they want to do. Inventions is not talking about a flat screen TV and a rocket. The inventions is sin, right? The Most High can make you upright, but if you are of Satan, you're going to seek out many inventions and you're going to go against the grain, right? It's only a matter of time, right? It may not be now, but there's a set time when you are created to just go against the grain, man. And you may come off as if you're righteous, but you may be a tear when it's all said and done, right?
That's why the Lord say he's going to say, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. I never known thee. And they're going to be pleading to his face, didn't we cast out many devils in your name? Right. So it's going to be a lot of people wearing fringes, keeping the high holy days, who are workers of iniquity, like the brother said. Once that dial gets turned in, right, you're going to see who the tear is. That's why you have to pray for mercy and that the Lord does not take away that Holy Spirit from you.
You go to the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4, and verse 26. So it's a lot of evil men that were of our congregation. You understand, I got sifted out. Bring that out, King.
2 Maccabees, chapter 4, and verse number 26. Then Jason, who had undermined his own brother.
Right, and that's going to happen in the last days. Brothers going to undermine their own brother, sell out one another. When stuff hit the fan, it's going to get real, man. Some brothers haven't eaten, for 4 days at a time before. Lost their wife. Lost a limb. It's going to get real out here, man. And how are you going to deal with that temptation? Right, read on.
Being undermined by another, was compelled to flee into the country of the Ammonites.
Jump to verse 17.
Verse 17. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly.
The Lord says not a light thing to do wickedly. Read.
Against the laws of God. But the time following shall declare these things.
What the Lord say?
But the time following shall declare these things.
Right, it's going to declare it in the time following, huh? Read that again from the top.
2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 17. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly.
Right, meaning you got to be a full-fledged demon to rob your brother, to commit adultery, to do these type of things. It's not a light thing to go off, man. Right, and sin against the Most High and break these laws. Read.
Against the laws of God, but the time following shall declare these things.
Right, meaning in due season, in due time, the Lord is going to reveal who's the righteous and who's the wicked. Right, I want to get one more. You go to the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse 23.
1 Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse number 23.
You can start at 22.
Verse number 22. And unto him resorted are such as trouble the people.
Right, unto him. I mean, you got certain people that resort to people that do mischief. You got this brother, he's a murmurer, so all the murmurers resort to this man. You have a man that's a backbiter, all the backbiters resort over here. You got one sister that commit confusion, another brother, he's doing God knows what. All is going to resort to their liking. Right, read on.
Who, after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel.
Right.
Now, when Judas saw all the mischief that Okemos and his company had done.
Now, how did he get a company, man? Because those spirits are going to resort to their life. Men are going to change in the last days. And he's going to have a lot of men doing wickedly and a lot of men doing righteous. Right, Vidor?
Alchemists and his company had done among the Israelites even above the heathen.
Even above the heathen. So you think the heathens do work to you, man? Look at your own people. And it hurt when they damn go off. Man, look at Judas Iscariot, man. Betrayed the Lord. The Lord said, friend, where comest thou, man? That's spiritual. You're supposed to be my friend. We sat down, we broke bread together, and you turned me in. Right, Vidor?
He went out into all the coasts of Judea round about and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country.
Right, and that's plain, man. So you got to have men that are going to be changing in due season, right?
Can you go to Romans? Romans chapter 9 and verse number 20. That's right. At the end of the day, the Most High, he has everything set up and appointed for a specific reason. You could be appointed right now to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and the next day you back on Instagram posting pictures of the world. The Lord can easily overthrow you. Bring this out in Romans chapter 9 and verse 20.
Romans chapter 9 and verse number 20. Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
Right, read.
Have not the potter power over the clay?
Right, so the Most High can create you and do whatever he wants to do with you. Again, the Lord can raise you up and be built up and fashioned in the truth, and the next day you back in the world. That happens all the time, right? The Lord has sent countless examples, not only in our congregation, but all throughout the scriptures and all throughout other congregations that's, around the world right now. Right, read on, King?
Of the same lump to make one vessel to honor and another unto dishonor.
Right, read on.
What if God, willing to shew his wrath and to make his power known,
And to do what?
and to make his power known,
Read.
endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction.
And to be fitted to destruction, meaning it was appointed to destruction. So there are certain spirits that's appointed to salvation. There's other spirits that's pointed to destruction. It's nothing that person that's appointed to destruction can do to change that. The Lord has that set up, and it's going to be done. You can read on, King.
So like, verse 23, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Which he had done what?
Which he had afore prepared unto glory.
So the Lord has certain vessels that's fitted to destruction. Then he has certain vessels that's fitted for mercy, which the Lord aforetime, meaning before the beginning of the world, he already prepared certain spirits to receive that glory. Right, you got it, King.
Another quick precept. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter and verse 18.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 18. And now, when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in, that now live, no man spake against me.
No man spake against the Most High. Right? Go on.
For then everyone obeyed.
Yeah, when the Most High said, be fruitful and multiply, everyone obeyed. When the Most High said, replenish the earth, everyone obeyed. When the Most High said, unto you shall the herb yielding seed be meat unto you, everyone obeyed. But right? Nobody said, who is this man that formed me out of the dust of the ground? Who art thou? Right? No, everybody obeyed. Read.
But now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed.
That's that evil seed that was sown by Satan, man. Go on.
And by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves.
Read.
So I considered the world.
The Most High says, so I considered the world.
And behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
The device is sin. Go on.
And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people.
The Lord said, I kept me a grape of the cluster, right? And a plant of the great people, which is who? The wheat. That's the wheat that the Most High said, those are the people that I want. Like I said, they went into the vessels of mercy, which he hath prepared aforetime to glory. Read on.
Come. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
What are the tares?
Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
You was born in vain. Your whole life was nothing. Getting up in the morning, putting your clothes on, going to work, all your stress, your bills, your rent, your heartbreak, your financial woes, right? Your health care issues and physical infirmities, and everything that you desired to do in life was pointless and worthless. You was born in vain. Read that again. That's a horrible thing, man. Right?
Let the multitude perish then.
That's billions of people. Right? Let them just die, which was what?
Which was born in vain.
They don't read that in Christianity. Right? That's not in the church. Go on.
And let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
Have I made it perfect. For the perfecting of the saints, the Lord sent apostles, prophets, teachers, evangelists to make that great perfect, that they may reach the stature of Yahushua. Right? So you understand the wheat and the tares. Right? You got the tares, you got the wheat. The tares are the children of the wicked one, right? And the wheat are the children of the kingdom, the righteous. Right? Now, we don't know who we are until that set day. That's what the Lord said. Go to 2 Peter 1:10 real quick. Right? Second, don't just say, well, I might be a tare. We was talking about that with brothers, man. The brother thought he was an Edomite at one time. Remember the brother? Oh, I'm an Edomite. Oh, boy, I ain't never going to make it. Oh, I'll never come back out. And the brother never came back out, man. The brother thought he was a tare off jump. You can't have that mentality, oh, what if I'm a tare? This is pointless. No, you can't have that spirit, man. Read that, Baba Kashar.
2 Peter, chapter 1 and verse number 10.
Hey, this thing is about faith, man. It's all about faith. Right, go on.
Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure.
To make your what?
Your calling and election sure.
Read.
For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
You shall never fall. Be diligent to make your calling and election sure. I mean, what does that mean? Prove to the Most High why you deserve to be here, man. The Most High called you out of the world, man, and brought you into this truth, right? You have to be diligent to make your calling and election sure. Like they draft people to the NBA or the NFL, right? You can't just be drafted and not show the coach why you deserve that max contract, right? Why you deserve, these damn lucrative signing bonuses, man. You got to put in work, man. Right? You got to show, go before the coach, go before the organization, the owner, GM, and say, hey, here's my stats, man. Right? I did this last year. I did this year, man. Coach said, okay, I will give you that max contract, man. Right? You were called, but you have to prove why you deserve to be here, man. Right? Every one of us, we have to prove to the Most High, for lack of better terms, why we deserve to be here, man. Make our election sure. Don't just be called into this truth. Like some people get called on the team. Everybody played with these guys on the football team, huh? They dressed up with the Under Armour. They had the Nike sleeves on. Some of these guys had visors and, expense. They had the war paint on. And what was they doing, man? Sitting on the bench. Right? Coach don't want to put me in, man. Coach, well, brother, you don't make your calling sure, man. You don't show up to practice on time. You half-ass everything that you do, man. You're not in the film room, but you come out with all of the damn expensive damn gear on with the black visor, man. Number one. You got the number one jersey. Right? It's always those kind of brothers, man.
Never go in the washing machine.
Right, never go, man. He don't do nothing, man. Then you got the brothers that make their calling sure, man. They stay late after practice. They show up early. They watch, and they say these are athletes right after the game, the top guys, they go straight to the film room, man. Some of these guys go to the club. And one more point, when you watch that, they had the Redeem Team documentary. I don't know, but did brother see that? Have you seen it right with Kobe? Brothers, remember when they was in the elevator? Was it Dwayne Wade, Melo? And, no, it was and LeBron. And what was they about? They was coming from the club. They was freaking off. It was like, 3 in the morning? And Kobe was up, man. Right, that was his second workout, man. He was up at 3, 4 in the morning, man. Right? And he was going to go work out, man. So there's a reason why, carnally speaking, why he had success in what he did, man. He made his calling and election sure. That's in the world, man. People go harder in the world than we may do for the Most High, man. We have to have that same mentality. Look, I ain't no damn terror, man. Right? You're going to do the work of a terror if you a terror, man. If you're the children of the kingdom, you're gonna do the work of the children of the kingdom, huh? Right?
Go. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and we can start at verse. Let's start at 13.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to Yahweh for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because Yahweh has from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth.
Right, so it was ordained from the foundation that we would be out here. What's today? September what? 30th? September 30th, doing this Sabbath service, keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. Right, it was already ordained because we heard the truth in past time and believe. Right, we're just reliving it all over again. Right, keep going, King.
But verse 14. Wherefore, whereunto he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the glory of our Lord Yahweh HaMashiach. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the traditions which ye have been taught, whether by word or our epistle.
Right, so we got to hold fast to these traditions. Right, like the brother said, the Redeem team. Right, everybody remember how to do a layup. You do the same motion, chest pass, bounce pass. You got to hold fast to that, man, because the Lord is our coach. He's not going to tell us something wrong. And all of us played sports before. Who did the coach love the most? The one he was getting on the most. The one who was always getting rebuked, who was always having to run extra laps and sprints. That's what the Lord is doing to us, right? We getting that chastising because the Lord is conditioning us, making us purified in gold. In fire, like fine gold, man. So we're going through it over and over and over. So we got to hold fast to those traditions. And if you don't know the traditions, go back and read how our forefathers did everything, how they magnified the Lord in all their works, how everything was giving thanks unto the Lord and never boasting of themselves.
You can go to the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse number 35.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse number 35. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence.
Right, so the Lord said, don't cast away your confidence. And when you're strong in reading the scriptures, fasting constantly, you're going to be strong in the spirit. You're going to have more of a spirit to want to teach, more of a spirit to want to read, more of a spirit to want to be at camp. But when you're going off behind closed doors, it's like you guilt tripping. Nah, I don't know if I could do this for real. Can I really pull these precepts? And the Lord said, don't cast away, therefore, your confidence. The more you read, the more you're entitled to feel like I could bring it out today, man. You know what I've been studying? I'm going to chop down these doctrines. Right, read on.
Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which has great recompense of reward.
And a lot of brothers lose track of the reward, man. There's a crown for each and every one of us out here, man. We just got to take it, man. We have to literally sit there, right, read, pray, fast, get ourselves in the spirit, not casting away our confidence so that we can receive the reward. Read on.
For ye have need of patience.
And don't nobody want to go through hell and tribulation and fire, right, and death if need be, man. The Lord said, for ye have need of patience. A lot of brothers, they think they're just going to come out of whatever they're dealing with in a month, man. Hey, Tobit was blind for 8 years. There be some things that you may have to deal with for life. Look at Paul. He had a thorn in his side, man. And though he besought the Lord thrice, yet his grace was sufficient unto him. Read on.
For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of Yahweh,
after you have perfected yourself through the Spirit of the Most High,
ye might receive the promise.
Right?
For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come.
How many precepts in the scriptures say over and over and over a little while? Be watchful. I cometh like a thief in the night. Because the Lord is telling you over and over and over he's on his way. And the saints are going to be taking heed and watching. Read on.
And he that shall come will come and will not tarry.
Right?
Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him.
Who's going to start a race? Start building, start reading, start fasting, change up all your friends, change up your whole understanding, the way you speak, the way you dress, what you eat, and then turn back from that. That's the highest form of a reprobate, man. That's like driving halfway across the world and turning the hell around, man. You know, ran out of gas. You lost direction, right? You're lukewarm. You don't know what to do. You're left from your right. The Lord said, I can't deal with this man. When it's raining and it's snowing and all hell breaking loose and he's still building, he has faith that he can finish. That's right. That's right. Let's read on. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 13. That's right, man. Matthew 13 and verse 39.
St. Matthew chapter 13 and verse number 39.
Right.
The enemy that sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world.
The what?
The harvest is the end of the world.
Read that again.
The harvest is the end of the world.
Read.
And the reapers are the angels.
So the harvest is the time period that you're living in right now. The Feast of Tabernacles is about the harvest, man. Remember, in the ancient world, it wasn't just about the booths, right? Remember, we come from a people of agriculture, husbandry, horticulture, right? We're a people that deal with the land, crops, planting, breaking in the ground. There's a lot of precepts that go into husbandry. Breaking in the plows, furrows, planting the seeds in, plowing. So you have to have that ancient mind to understand certain scriptures, right? If all you think about is an iPhone, was it 15 now? 16, the brother trying to sell 15s, right? They're trying to sell his iPhone 15s, man, right? If that's all you think about is futuristic technology, right, then you're not going to really understand a lot of the ancient concepts of the scriptures, man. Right? Go to Exodus 23 and 16. Right? That brother know who he is.
Exodus chapter 23 and verse number 16.
Right?
And the feast of harvest, the first fruit.
See, if a brother said, hey, the feast of harvest is coming up, well, how many brothers would know was coming up, huh? Feast of harvest. You add it to the word. Right? Well, the feast of harvest is what feast day? Nope. Pentecost. The Pentecost is the feast of harvest. Right? Go on. Remember, you got the early rain, you got the latter rain, we got to go into that agriculture. Right? That's why it's good to get these atlases and the Zondervan Bible dictionaries and the Rose timelines and charts and kind of dive more into the history of us as a people. Right? Not just the prophecies and the dark sayings. Because around this time of the year, we was out there working, man. We wasn't coming out the booth and then, just brothers congregating and chilling. We was working, right? Our reward was after our work, right? So we were laboring before the Feast of Tabernacles, and then we were reaping, right? Going into the feast, right? We were going into the feast, and that was the highest level of work that you would do the whole year. There was no greater time of work than gathering in your harvest, man. Well, I wasn't just going to the grocery store and picking out an apple and an orange and a damn carrot, man. You had a sickle in your hand, and you was out there all day. You was out there all night. Business was canceled. Stores was closed. And every family was out there gathering in the increase of their field. You was sweating. It was cold, right? You had to put it in the storehouse. You had to do this hard work, man. And then you rejoiced in the Feast of Tabernacles. Right, so read that verse 6. You had a point?
And brothers know, too. I know it was a few brothers earlier. It was over there chopping down the trees, chopping down the wood. You get a spirit that hops on you, that you get to eat of the fruit of your labor, right? It makes it feels a lot better. I know the first time that us as a camp, WFI Jersey Philly, back in 2020, we had kept the Feast of Tabernacles. We didn't have firewood we could go buy from Esau and the groundskeeper. We had to actually chop down the wood from the trees and then use that for fire. So again, it's a spirit that hops on you because it goes back to us being an agricultural people. You got to keep it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of practicality that comes with keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. Throughout this feast day, brothers should be, thinking about a lot of precepts, man. Right? When you building your fire, you should be thinking about the precepts that pertain to fire. Right? You should be thinking there's a lot of scripture. Building your tent. Right? All of these things is the spiritual meaning behind the Feast of Tabernacles, man. Like I was talking to brothers, we did the Monday Night Fire. And remember Yardan made a good point on the Monday Night Fire. So how you build your tent is a reflection of you. Inside your tent is a reflection of what's inside your spirit. If inside your tent is a mess and God knows what is going on, that's a reflection of how you live your life, man. How if you can never put your tent together, your life will never be put together, man. Right? If you could do it with ease and brothers can help you. Every brother that came here late, every brother was hands-on for the most part. That was rolling in late. I know the elder was helping them brothers. Gabar was coming with the firewood. That's a reflection of brother spirits, man. If brothers could do that for you carnally, how much more can they do for you spiritually, man? So there's a lot of spiritual practices that you should meditate and think about as you keep these feast days, man. Right? So read Exodus 23 and 16 again.
Come on. Exodus chapter 23 and verse number 16. And the feast of harvest.
The feast of harvest is the feast of you will gather in your first fruits, right? And then count your 50 days and celebrate for the Pentecost. Go on.
The first fruits of thy labor which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering.
And the what?
And the feast of ingathering.
Another name for the Feast of Tabernacles is the Feast of Ingathering. Why? Because during the 7th month, wintertime is coming in. So you have sole priority to gather in all of the increase of your field. If you wait too late and you're slothful, what's going to happen? You're going to beg. The Lord said is that Proverbs 20 and 24, if I'm not mistaken, the slugger will not plow by reason of the cold. 24 and 20? 20 and 4, Salakia, 20 and 4. Let's get that. Proverbs
chapter 20 and verse number 4. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing.
And have what?
And have nothing.
See that? If you, in the harvest time, a lot of brothers are going to have nothing, man. Because they may be slothful. I ain't going out in the field, man. Right? You have to have a work ethic in the ancient world, man. Now Jake got the cubicle job. You go there, you type in your emails, right? You're pulling, you're organizing files, right? I mean, you're doing, secretary work, man. In the ancient world, like I said, brothers was chopping down trees, but I don't want to touch that axe. I might hurt myself, right? I want to see y'all do it. Yeah, I might get a splinter. What if it gets in your eye, right? What if you get it? No, man, you got to get into this thing, man, right? You got you got to get into it. Even Esau do that, man. They got their pumpkin fest. They're out there gathering in their damn pumpkins and squash, and they whand it, and Esau get into it, man. Jay talking about it's cold out. I ain't going out there. The Feast of Ingathering was the end of the year. You would gather in all your labors out of the field. Go to Joel 3 and 12, and that's spiritual. The harvest is spiritual. Joel chapter 3 and 12.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse.
That's why the parable said the harvest is the end of the world. That's why it says the Feast of Ingathering is at the what? The year's end. The harvest is always equated to the end of the world, man. Bring that up.
Joel 3 verse number 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle.
What the Lord say?
Put ye in the sickle.
So we had sickles in the ancient world, man. Go on.
For the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is great.
Right.
Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision.
So the harvest time is coming, man. That means the plants are growing, right? You can't get them early. If you get that tomato or that banana early, it ain't no good, man. Eat them big, nasty green tomato, man. Right? Or those banana, you got to let your banana kind of ripen a little bit. Or your apple, you got to get it right on time. If you wait too late, it's no good, man. So the Lord said we're growing up into the time of the harvest. The tares are growing right now, right? The wheat is growing right now. And in the time of the harvest, Yahweh Shai, spiritually, is going to take a sickle is like a scythe. Like brothers know about the Grim Reaper. That's where they get that concept from. The Grim Reaper with the scythe in his hand or the sickle. And he was, reaping the wheat, man. And cut it down.
Let's get that account. Let's go to Revelations 14 and 14.
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come to reap the earth. The harvest of the earth is ripe.
See that?
The harvest of the earth is ripe, man. So the harvest is equated with the Feast of Tabernacles. So, you know, the Feast of Tabernacles is a very, very spiritual day. There's a lot that brothers should be meditating on. Building your tent is building yourself up, man. Right? Getting your fire and your wood, right? You know, having that fire burn. The brothers should be meditating on being on fire, man. Don't just get your fire to be warm, man. Get your fire to be more zealous for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. You chopping down trees and woods. Let us not be chopped down, man. Right? You're throwing things in the fire. The Most High is going to be throwing people in the fire, man. Right? There's a lot that goes on with this feast. You got the blood moon, the harvest moon. It's a the Most High didn't just say go camping. Right? It's not camping, man. It's a feast day. And the Most High has designed these feast days perfectly in knowledge, man. And you have to extract the wisdom of the feast day and find out how you can apply the works of the feast day into your day-to-day life.
Bring it up.
And, hey, can you bring on Colossians chapter 2 and verse 7?
Colossians chapter 2 and verse number 7. Rooted and built up in him and established in the faith, and ye have been taught authority therein with thanksgiving.
Can you read it from the top?
Rooted and built up.
What the Lord say?
Rooted and built up.
And as you see, if you take a look around you real quick, all around you we're surrounded by these trees. And as we're out here at Feast of Tabernacles, that's another thing to meditate on. We want to be as these trees. These trees all have leaves on them. These trees are full. We want to be rooted and built up. These trees, you can't quickly pick up a tree and plant it by the water. That's right.
And we can cut them down at any given time, and they don't know.
And like I was going to mention, you can't walk over and grab that tree up and move it. It's a lot of spirits that's out here right now. The Lord has a lot of different doctrines coming out in these last days. I was going into it with brothers yesterday. It's different spirits that other camps, that other congregations, other men may be speaking of on Clubhouse or Twitter or Instagram. Brothers want to be circumspect of what's going on these last days. Read it again from the top, King.
Colossians 2 and 7. Rooted and built up in him.
We want to be rooted and built up. Those trees, they can't easily just move unless we come over with an axe and chop it down, as the angels are going to do to men in these last days. What read on, King?
Established in the faith.
And what?
Established in the faith.
We also want to be established in the faith, meaning we're not easily being tossed to and fro. A new doctrine hops in, and oh, yeah, brother, that actually makes sense, brother. And you scratching the back of your head. Your brother didn't show you no precept, and now you believe that new doctrine. That's you not being established in the faith. What read on, King?
As ye have been taught, according therein with thanksgiving.
The Lord said you want to be established in the faith as you have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Because again, we got a lot to be thankful for. The Lord has allowed us to understand His truth. We started off the lesson. Everyone on the earth is not going to understand His truth. So the Lord is giving you a portion of the Spirit. You got to use it and don't abuse it in these last days. You got.
Yahweh Shai said through the spirit of John the Baptist, the axe is laid to the root of the trees, man. So the axe, that means judgment is coming. He didn't say the axe is 10 miles away. He said it's laid to the root of the trees, man. So trees are about to be cut down. Go to Proverbs real quick, chapter 30 and 15. Right? This I've been thinking about this precept a lot. Proverbs 30 and 15 since I've been out here.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 15. The horselet had 2 daughters, crying, give, give.
Right?
There are 3 things that are never satisfied.
What the Lord say?
There are 3 things that are never satisfied.
Read.
Yea, 4 things say that it is enough.
There are 3 things that are never satisfied, and the 4th thing never says it is enough. Read on.
The grave.
Yeah, the grave is never satisfied, man. When has the grave ever said, stop putting dead bodies in me? Oh, it's too much, too much, too much. I can't hold anymore. The grave, meaning death, is always ready to consume. Right? Go on.
And the barren womb.
Yeah, barren womb. A woman is a righteous woman is always looking to be pregnant, man. Right? She's never satisfied with children. A righteous woman. Go on.
The earth that is not filled with water.
Yeah, the earth never says, okay, hold on, Rain. slow down. Right? What the hell is going on, huh? No, the earth eats up and draws in the water. Liberally. Read.
And the fire.
And the what?
And the fire.
What the Lord say?
And the fire.
Saith what?
That saith not, it is enough.
It is what?
It is enough.
Fire doesn't, we just burnt through, what, how much wood? And it would have kept consuming and consuming and consuming, man. The fire said it is, the fire saith not, it is enough, man. That's the spirit that we gotta have, man. You can't say it is enough, man. You can't say I've done enough. I've read enough. I've prayed enough. I got my family in order enough. I taught enough, man. I kept enough feast days. The fire saith not, it is enough, man. Right? So that's the spirit, brothers. When you build your fire, you should be meditating on these scriptures, man. Thinking about these precepts and ask yourself, have you done enough, man? Because the fire is never satisfied, man. It is never content. It never says, all right, that's too much logs. What the hell are you doing, man? Right? The fire isn't modest, man. The fire isn't shy. Right? The fire is bold, man. And it has no type of limits, man. Neither should we have in this truth, man. So this, and you got to think about it. You can either be part of the fire that saith not it is enough, or you part of the what? The grave. Because the grave said the grave always consumes too, man. You got to pick one. Which one do you want to be a partaker of? The grave, because the grave will eat you up. It's greedy, man. People die every day, right? The Most High kills people every day, and the grave is greedy, man. We was talking about that. Death is big business, man. People make millions of dollars out of death, man. Right? So you got to ask yourself again, do you want to be a partaker of the grave that constantly consumes, or do you want to be the brother that's on fire that said, not, it is enough, man? Right? So these are the things that brothers are meditating and thinking about as you keep these feast days, man. Right? Be mindful of the spiritual aspect of these high holy days that Yahweh Basham Yahushua has given us, man. So let's go back to Matthew 13. Right where we left off.
St. Matthew, chapter 13, and verse number 39. The enemy that sowed them is the devil.
Right.
The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels.
The reapers are the angels.
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Read.
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again.
Hold on. Let's sit on that, man. Right? He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. So the Lord is going to take the angels and use them to gather the wheat together in the barn and then burn the tares with fire, man. Right? So the barn is symbolic for what? For the chariots, man. Because a barn preserves the wheat from thieves, from the weather. You understand? It preserves it and keeps it alive. And the tares are going to be burnt and binded up in their sins and those demons and be destroyed, man. Right? So the harvest is coming, and we want to be diligent to make our calling and election sure that we may be a partaker of the wheat and not of the tares, man. Be mindful of the spiritual reasons of the Feast of Tabernacles, man. Meditate on these precepts. Meditate on what the Yahweh Basham Yahushua has established, man. There's a lot of scriptures that pertain to the Feast of Tabernacles, man. Not just Leviticus 23. You got Deuteronomy 16, Exodus 23, Deuteronomy 31. You got to go and read the law, right? You have a lot of feast days that pertain to it. So get into these feast days today, right? Get into the scriptures and meditate on these things through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. And with that, Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Shalom.